Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about PlayStation 3 emulation on Android with RPCSX. And I've been asked a bunch if RPCSX is still alive, and the answer is absolutely yes, this emulator is still being worked on. In fact, it just got a brand new update. So at the time of filming, the latest version of RPCSX for Android is 2025-0831-AF1D48E, pretty easy to remember. And this one has a few changes. Now, it's worth noting that RPCSX is still extremely experimental, and I wouldn't really expect a whole lot out of it just yet. But taking a look, one of the additions here is x86-64 ABI support, where ABI stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano, or Application Binary Interface support. Moving on, and we're still talking about PlayStation stuff, just going up a few generations and not talking about emulation, but current-gen hardware. And it seems the PlayStation 5 is about to get a brand new update for the digital edition in the EU. I don't necessarily know if this will be worldwide, but this is a very interesting update. It's kind of like a regression. So this one was spotted over on Deal Labs, and I guess here it's going to be releasing September 13th in the EU with 825 gigabytes of storage instead of 1 terabyte, and the model number is CFI 2100. And they say here it's going to retain the same price of 499 euros, so you're getting less for the same. Unfortunately, right now, there's no official statement from Sony on the matter. I'm assuming we're going to get some sort of statement at some point in time, considering it's releasing on September 13th here. But 825 gig downgrade from 1 terabyte, it seems very weird. It's a very weird storage number instead of just a nice, calm, cool, collected 1 terabyte. And maintaining the same price here. I don't know if they're doing this to downgrade the storage to maintain the same price because of global economic conditions, or if there's some sort of manufacturing issue or what's going on behind the scenes. If you've got any idea, let me know in the comments below. And continuing to talk about PlayStation stuff and pricing. Next up here, we're talking about the PS5 and Monster Hunter Wilds. And this is a really interesting headline over on VGC. If you're interested in checking out the full article, like everything we talk about, links are within a link at the bottom of the description below. I don't hide my sources. Anyways here, listen to this. PS5 price is an unexpectedly large barrier for Monster Hunter Wilds sales, Capcom president says. And furthermore, they say that Switch 2's sales show that affordability is still key to a console's success. Which is interesting given the fact that the Switch 2 is, well, it's been a little bit controversial in terms of its overall pricing structure, but that's a can of worms for not this video. So they go on to say here, the console costs around $540, and factoring in the cost of software and monthly subscriptions, it comes to around 100,000 yen, or 675 bucks, give or take. Meanwhile, the Switch 2 is priced at 49,980 yen, which is just shy of 400 bucks. I mean, if you wanted to be specific, it's around 336 bucks. So maybe not just shy of 400, maybe just over 300, just shy of 350. How about that? But anyways here, that is a huge price difference between the PS5 and Nintendo Switch in Japan. Unfortunately, they did not confirm Monster Hunter Rise hitting the Nintendo Switch 2. No hints, nothing on that matter. But at the same time here, it's not surprising in my opinion that a more expensive console and monthly subscription and game price would result in a hindrance in terms of sales. Cheaper things tend to sell better. It's not rocket science. I could be wrong with that statement though. That could be a hot take. And speaking about stuff maybe making its way over to the Switch 2 or maybe not. Next up, we're talking about Clair Obscur Expedition 33. And there's a lot of reporting out there that this game is in the works to make it to the Switch 2, which may not necessarily be the case. Now, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of these rumors, or most of the rumors, are from this article here, which is written in Spanish, and I've translated it to English, so there may be some issues. It may not be perfect. But I'm guessing here, based on what's been translated, is that Sandfall Interactive was asked if they were going to bring Clair Obscur Expedition 33 to the Switch 2. And here is their response. We have some possibilities that we will explore, but at the moment we cannot confirm anything. That doesn't mean that Clair Obscur is headed to the Switch 2. That doesn't mean it's not headed to the Switch 2. To me, that's a complete nothing burger. Maybe they're looking at it to see if it's even viable. And speaking about stuff not headed to the Switch 2, next up we're talking about Backyard Football 99. Now this may make its way to the Switch 2 at some point in time, but not initially. And Backyard Football 99, if you're excited about this one, is headed to Android, iOS, and Steam. Unfortunately, I don't have the price just yet. I'm hoping it's not going to be that expensive, but let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. It's releasing on September 9th. Moving on, and we're talking about PlayStation 2 emulation with PCSX2, and PCSX2 just got a couple of brand new updates. So one of the updates here is for Deadly Strike, and if you play Deadly Strike and don't like the grid lines showing up on the screen, they're a little bit hard to see in this image, but they are there. Well, now they're not. Anyways, the GameDB was updated, and this should fix those issues. And the second update here fixes a few different games. So if we take a look, they say here, it fixes Haunting Ground Shadows on DirectX 11, fixes Jack Games Shadows when not using auto flush on DirectX 11, and fixes Star Ocean Shadows when upscaling on DirectX 11. Next up, we're talking about Sega Mega Drive or Genesis emulation with ClownMDEmu, and ClownMDEmu just got a brand new update. So at the time of filming, ClownMDEmu version 1.5 is the latest update, and there's some fixes, optimization, and brand new stuff. They've optimized sprite rendering, they've added a widescreen hack, and they've fixed 8-bit writes to 16-bit SRAM. And speaking about bits and fixes and optimizations, next up we're talking about Felix86, where they say you can run x86 and x86 64 games on RISC-V. And Felix86 got a brand new update to 25.09. So on top of bug fixes and optimizations, there's some new playable games here, for example Sleeping Dogs and Counter-Strike Soars. And for the future, what they're currently working on is 32-bit signal support. In my opinion, Felix86 is making improvements in leaps and bounds, and if you're on the RISC-V architecture, you're probably very excited about this news. And speaking about exciting stuff, and arguably a little bit niche, next up we're talking about Japanese visual novels. And if you're a fan of EMIT on the FM Towns, you might be excited to know that all 3 volumes of EMIT have been translated to English. So the 3 volumes here are Lost in Time, Desperate Journey, and Bid Myself Farewell. And what I find very interesting about this is that they were designed for Japanese players studying English. And now they've been flat out translated to English. And speaking about interesting stuff and fan stuff, next up we're talking about Rush 2049. And if you weren't aware that this game has an unofficial PC port, well, now you are, I guess. Interestingly here, I was just looking at this game the other day. I mean, I played Rush 2 a whole lot on the N64. And Rush 2049, I didn't really give the attention I don't think that this game deserved. I was looking at the game and debating on whether or not I wanted to get into it. And lo and behold, there is a PC port of it. So Video Game Esoterica has a brand new video that I would recommend checking out, exploring this PC port in detail. And speaking about ports and mods and that entire scene, next up we're talking about GOG. And I think there's going to be a lot of people excited about this announcement, and this is right on Twitter from GOG. They say the second wave of GOG One Click Mods has arrived, and it's packed with some of the most beloved and ambitious fan creations out there. So as for the One Click Mods they've added in, we've got Stalker Anomaly, the definitive standalone survival sandbox, Diablo HD mod, SWAT Elite Force, Return to Castle Wolfenstein, GMDX for Deus Ex, Ashes 2063, Keeper FX, and they can all be found on GOG. Next up, we're talking about Sega and Lego, and we talked about this one a little while back when it leaked that I guess Sega and Lego were collaborating on a Lego Genesis controller. We've got more information here, but there seems to be a hitch. So the price on this one seems to be set at $20 or $19.99 if you wanted to be specific. However, above the price, it says gift with purchase. So according to Reddit, I guess this Lego Genesis controller is a part of a promo where you've got to spend at least $130. I guess it starts September 8th as well. Let me know your thoughts about that one. Is $130 a little bit prohibitive to just pick up this Lego Genesis controller? And do you think it'll turn into a collector's item or not? And speaking about collector's items, next up we're not talking about a collector's item at all. I mean, this is free for everybody and unlimited times free. We're talking about Linux Mint 22, and Linux Mint 22.2 has just dropped. Now, it's worth noting here that this latest version of Linux Mint is really hot off the press. I mean, right now on their website, the latest version listed is 22.1. So I may cover this one again once Linux Mint updates their website. Anyways, here Linux Mint 22.2 is supported until 2029. And it does offer some improvements to stuff like Wayland and some optimizations here, and also fingerprint scan. If you are interested in this one before Linux Mint updates their website, builds are currently available: XFCE, Mate, and Cinnamon. And for LMDE 7, I guess Linux Mint is shifting their focus to that to work on that and hopefully release that as a fast-ish follow. Next up, we're talking about Google, and this may come as great news to some and not great news to others, but it's being reported that Google won't have to sell Chrome or Android. But it does have to share search data. For full information on the matter, I would recommend checking out the 9 to 5 Google article. So the big win for Google here is they don't have to sell Android or Chrome. However, there are a couple of losses and maybe wins for the consumer. However, Google is barred from exclusive search contracts that prohibit other providers from also being installed on devices. Loss for Google, I would say a win for consumers. However, this next paragraph is a little bit more convoluted as to who is the actual winner here, and we'll get to that in just a second, and let me know your thoughts. The big change today is that Google must share certain search index and user interaction data, though not ads data, with qualified competitors. The aim is to enable those firms to deliver high-quality search results and ads to compete with Google while they develop their own search technologies and capacity. Now, I would say here, and this might be a hot take, the winner here is not the consumer nor Google, but other companies. I would say the loser here is Google and also the consumer having their data shared more broadly across multiple companies. Let me know your thoughts. And speaking about sharing data, but arguably in a bit of a better way, next up we're talking about Google Play Games profiles. And if you ever wanted to share your data a little bit more about that stuff, well, now the enhanced gaming profile is being rolled out. So they say here, starting September 23rd, 2025 globally and on October 1st, 2025 in the EU and UK. You can find your updated gamer profile in Google Play, serving as the central hub for your gamer-related experiences. They go on to say here, there's going to be a suite of new features that will take your gaming experience to the next level, like showcasing and tracking your game progress and stats, new ways to build your gaming community, and allowing you to tailor your profile to your liking. Basically, there's an option here to make your profile public, and I think this is really bringing things up in terms of overall community and kind of making it like Steam profiles per se. I'm not going to lie here, I am curious to hear your thoughts on the matter. If you're a big Android gamer and like to play a lot of stuff on the Google Play Store with Google Play Games, let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. Next up, we're talking about the TrimUI brick, and it seems as if there's a big delay for some people receiving their device after pre-ordering it. There's a brand new video here by Mr. Stevens Retro Corner explaining the issue and possible resolutions. Now, Mr. Stevens' video is around 18 minutes long, just over 18 minutes, and goes over quite a bit of detail, and I would recommend checking it out. And it seems some resolution has happened because of this video. From my understanding here, LitNXT, who is a shop that has pre-orders for the TrimUI brick, has stepped up their customer service as a result of this video. So based on my understanding, LitNXT has offered customers who pre-ordered a TrimUI brick hammer and are experiencing delays a goodie bag and also some extra buttons. And I would say overall, that's really good customer service. And speaking about great customer service, next up, we're not really talking about EA, kinda, but not really. We're talking about the modding scene for the crew. And listen to this tweet here. Thanks to modders and the community, the Crew 1 will be back online September 15th, 2025. There's more information over on their Discord, but I guess they're saying here in terms of the latest progress, the server emulator is feature complete for a 1.0 release. The TCU launcher is complete. The TCU website is ready and available now. And on top of that, TCU is releasing on September 15th, 2025. However, it's worth noting here this is only for the PC version of the crew, but overall I would say this is pretty exciting. Let me know your thoughts. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. If you wanted to see the legendary One Fluff, check out my previous video where she did make a cameo. We talked about a bunch today. Feel free to discuss anything we talked about in the comments below. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state.